On this episode of Extraordinary Women TV,
my guest is Roxanne Joyal. She is the co-chief executive officer of Me2We, an innovative social enterprise geared to helping people make better choices for a better world. Well, Roxanne, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's great having you here.
Yeah.
You're born and raised in Winnipeg, in a francophone area of Winnipeg?
That's exactly right. So originally from Saint-Agathe-Île-des-Chênes, which are just small towns outside of Winnipeg, and grew up in a very small, tight-knit francophone community. So just a great base and a foundation, and really had the opportunity to pursue my studies as a young person in French. And so that certainly is something, part of myself and my culture, that I just really appreciate.
And today you live at the beaches with your husband, Mark Kielburger, and your daughter.
Yes, that's right. So we're a family of 3 now, and she's 2 years old. And so we're just feel very blessed to be able to be parents. And certainly out of all the jobs that I've had, this is certainly one of the most important ones that I have.
Now, you're one of the founders of Me2We, and today your job is as the co-CEO of the organization. So tell us a little bit about Me2We for those that maybe perhaps don't know of it.
Well, it's certainly something I'm very passionate about. So I'm very lucky to have a long history with Me2We, but even before I started that organization along with Craig and Mark Kielburger, I was one of the founding staff members of a charity called Free the Children. And so this was founded by a young man. His name is Craig Kielburger at the age of 12. And he read an article about a young boy named Igor Massi who had been sold into slavery for a very small amount of money. And so Craig learned about this issue, and this Free the Children became an anti-child labor organization, and very soon matured into an education initiative organization that's just very passionate about empowering young people to become very active. And so when Craig was on the road, for a number of times people would ask, where can I buy things that are ethically manufactured, or how can I make a difference? How can I support positive choices? And so many years later, we founded Me2We, which is really an organization that's dedicated to providing consumers with positive choices in the consumer place. And most importantly, not only do we source ethically and provide life-changing experiences through volunteer trips and speakers and books that inspire, but part of our charter and our mandate is to donate 50% of our net profits back to Free the Children. And what it does then is offer an independent source of income for Free the Children, in addition to the very much appreciated dollars that we receive from our donors and our supporters and our young people, who really are at the core of what we do.
Your job takes you traveling around the world, especially particularly to Kenya. Kenya's your second home?
It is. We're so lucky. So I truly feel so lucky that we can call Kenya a second home. And our daughter, Lily Rose, who's 2 years old, is about to take her 8th trip there. And we've always done so in a way that's very responsible in getting all the sign-ups from doctors and all that stuff. But it is a second home because one of the biggest aspects of what we do at Me2We is what we call Me2We Artisans. And we produce this fair trade jewelry based out of Kenya with these Maasai mamas who live in communities. And we're able to provide them with a consistent source of employment that is fair trade. We really leverage their artistic ingenuity, which is really in the form of beading. And we're able to bring this out here to North America. And people are just really getting excited about this. And so in fact, I just came back from a trip to Kenya a few weeks ago, where we've been able to onboard another 200 Maasai mamas into our workforce. And so we're now 800 strong and proud. And I just feel so lucky that I'm able to engage with these women and to really provide them with an opportunity to feel valued and appreciated in their communities, because they've had such an incredibly hard life.
And tell us about the jewelry.
So of course I'm wearing it all, right? So I'm a huge fan. So we design our collections twice a year, like any other retailer. But what's really amazing is we really used recycled materials. It's all handmade and hand forged. So for example, the necklaces that I'm wearing here are brass cast by hand of old buttons that we've been able to find, vintage finds in these old markets in Nairobi. And then of course, what we want to do is, we're beading bracelets and whatnot that are just very much modern and very, contemporary, but really leveraging the skills that these mamas have.
Now, earlier in your career, you spent some time in Thailand working in the slums with people, particularly who had HIV/AIDS.
Yes.
How did that impact you?
Oh, that had a huge impact on my life. It really set me on the journey that I'm on today. And so after I spent a year in Ottawa at the University of Ottawa. It's actually where I met my husband, Mark. We were working as pages in the House of Commons, and we were selected into that program. And so we actually both set off to do a year of volunteer work abroad, which back in 1995 was actually a very novel thing. It was very unusual to take a gap year to do this kind of stuff. And I'm really happy to say that it's becoming much more common for young people today, so that they're able to really explore their passions before deciding what they want to study. And certainly that's what happened to me, and it certainly set me off on the right pace. But so when I was out in Thailand, we were there for 6 months, and we were working with mothers and children afflicted with HIV and AIDS. And we ran a milk delivery program for these women so that they would not have to breastfeed their children, because often it can happen that the HIV virus is passed on to children, to babies through breast milk. And so by providing them with formula in that case, it was a safer choice for mom and baby. It was extremely impactful. I really realized that my passion was in the field of international development and most importantly to help moms and children. And so really the evolution of my career over time has been to work on the international development side, but now I work more on the business side, so I'm able to use these business levers to be able to create opportunities for these women.
And so now what about leadership then? I mean, leadership for youth is very important with the organizations. I mean, we know Me2We has fantastic events now in many cities across North America?
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes. So we're a triptych of organizations. We have the Charity Free the Children, we have Me2We, and then We Date 20,000 young people into arenas across this wonderful country and in the US as well. And they get an opportunity to hear from incredible speakers on a variety of topics, and that's interspersed with talent like Justin Bieber, or Jennifer Hudson, or Nelly Furtado, and who are all volunteering their time to provide this incredible day of inspiration and celebration. But most importantly, there is also the We Act program, which comes thereafter, and that's when young people commit to a local and a global action and a year's worth of programming to be able to make a difference. And so it's just really been amazing to see that evolution of the organizations come together for sure, and we're really excited to be expanding into the US as well.
It was like a rock concert. It has that kind of energy, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Excitement.
I mean, Mark and Craig, I have to give them so much credit. They really wanted to, make service work cool and, empathy cool. Back in the day, as they often say, if you told someone 20 years ago that glee clubs would be cool, you wouldn't have believed it, and that service work is cool, you wouldn't have believed it either. But again, it is like a rock concert, but most importantly, there is again that year-long engagement that comes thereafter, these very turnkey campaigns that young people can participate in, whether it be to collect through We Scare Hunger, which is to collect food for local food banks. We have all sorts of initiatives that run year-round that people can participate in and make it very easy to make a difference, both locally and globally.
Let's talk a little bit about your Bogani Cottages.
Yeah, Bogani Cottages. So of course, at the core of what we do at Me2We are volunteer adventures, and that's for young people as well as families. And so we established Bogani about 7 years ago so that families could go out and have a volunteer trip together and make it really turnkey and easy for the family and often the family planner, which is mom. So it's an opportunity to come to Kenya to volunteer, to meet the communities. Free the Children Serves, our charitable partner, of course, to help build a school, to meet the mamas in the communities and do some beadwork with them, and also to see what a local homestead is like and to see what life is like, the opportunities and the challenges of living life in rural Africa. And so I really think this is the way of the future for family vacations. I mean, Europe is fantastic. I mean, I'd go to Paris any day, absolutely, of course. But I think parents are looking for a new way to bond with their kids around something that's new. And I think we offer an opportunity to help parents foster empathy in their children and to have those conversations that matter. And so that's what we do at Bogani. It really is a volunteer adventure, and parents and kids come out with us for about 10 days. And, at the end of a hard week of volunteering, we have a little bit of safari and just a lot of laughs along the way.
So with Me2We then, what is the sort of average age of those getting involved?
Yeah, so getting involved. So, I mean, our Me2We fan is anywhere from the age of 5 years old to 65 years old, because again, we do the international volunteer trips and the jewelry. We have an apparel company as well as books and speakers. And so we really try to have multiple touch points into people's lives. But again, at the core of what we do are the volunteer trips for young people. And that's sincerely from the ages of 13 to 24. And then we have the family trips, of course, and we have intergenerational trips, and it's just very special to be able to be a part of that. That's just something I hold very close to my heart.
And now, the Good to Know Minute.
Roxanne, it's time for my Good to Know Minute, and I know you've got a great success tip.
All right, my tip would be both humility and hard work. And so with humility comes the ability to know when to seek mentorship from others. And I had the privilege to be mentored by incredible women like the Madam Justice Deschamps at the Supreme Court of Canada, and hard work. There is no substitute for hard work. Rolling up your sleeves and doing a great job and just learning along the way. So I think with those 2 tips, you're poised to do great things.
And that's good to know. Well, Roxanne, it was really great having you here, and I wish you all the best with Me2We and all that you do.
Well, thank you for your time.
If you would like to be a guest on Extraordinary Women TV, visit our website at extraordinarywomentv.com. I'd love to hear from you. Follow me on Twitter at Shannon_Skinner or on Facebook at Extraordinary Women TV. I'm Shannon Skinner. Join us next time for another episode of Extraordinary Women TV.